because there is the stuff that goes on with it. So Ethan's table today was $50 to $55 for Ethan's table. Mm-hmm. If Ethan goes and does the FMU record show,
that's a big one.
A weekend is about $1,000
that he's making there.
You gotta move a lot of merchandise.
That's what he's paying for a table. Holy shit!
But the FMU, I mean, people come with cash, and they're really like, and people pay $25 to get in early. Like the first 3 hours, it's $25 to get in, and then it's $5 after that. Yeah. Wow. Because you're gonna
serious collectors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how many shows do you think he's doing? Sorry to cut you off, but how many shows do you think he's doing a year?
I think he only does maybe half a dozen shows a year. I think it's got to be.
So it's primarily online sales.
He goes, if I do FMU, it's a lot more stuff. And he said, he's just like, I'm at a point now where it's just like, I got to hire someone to help me out with the FMU stuff. He's just like, I have someone come with me to do a lot of the lifting and to watch the table. And he's just like, because it's 3 days. He's like, something like this, I come here, he goes, I load out, I'm in here. He goes, it's from 10 to 4. I load myself back out again. And he's just like, and I made money today.
I mean, I could just think, it's just lugging all those records around.
Yeah.
FMU, they haven't had one for several years now. They've canceled 2 now.
Is it COVID related? Is that?
Yeah. They did something, I think, like in front of the station over the summer. I think they had a little bit of an outside. It was like kind of small thing by beans, but they haven't done the big show. And they were going to do it this year, and then I guess they, the Delta,
surge.
Yeah,
the surge cracked it back.
There was a pretty good crowd at this place, and we got there I was there around 1:30. Mm-hmm. It was around 1:30, 1:40, something like that, and it was rocking. And he's just like, it was packed this morning, like you said, like first people in. He's just like 10 o'clock. It was just like, it was wall to wall.
Yeah, it's a good location to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seemed to clear out after like 2, right, Chris? You noticed a big difference.
It was. There was definitely more room to maneuver.
But it's funny. Record shows used to be. It was like the only place you could go to a record store, and then to a certain extent, there's only so many record stores in your area, and then you kind of dig through them, and it's not like the inventory changes that much. Whereas these record stores, it would be like, these record meets, you'd go, and there was like a ton of records, and you go, and it was like. But now it's like you stand there, and you're like, you want $8 for this? Well, if I just click this button right here, I could get it for $5. And if I buy another one from them, it's free shipping. It says that and then it's like, I don't know, just.
They're like friends of mine who are in the biz, though. Like exactly what you're saying is exactly what they load. They're just because you're holding this one in your hand and you can see what kind of condition it is. But like, if you want to go and get it for $5 instead of the $8, and take your chances over the internet, even with free shipping, you're gonna knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Mine's $8.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, agreed. But at the same time, right? It's like. It's so tough because I do love like flipping through the records and go, holy shit, look at he has a copy, and you grab it and
talk about impulse buying. While you're there, if the price is right, you can move stuff because you just are going, need it, got it. Yeah, no, that's true. Like I was the Bell House had a record fair, and there's some did they have there's a big thing for like soul 45s. Like, was there any guys there who did the obscure 45s? Like
somebody had a big layout of 45s, but they were $1 a piece, and they were really old.
This
thousands of them.
You'd go through, and it's like I'm a pretty big music fan, and it's just like maybe I'd hear of 1 or 2 of the artists. Like you'd flip it, and it would be like, Billy J and the Deltas, and and it's like, and then there sometimes you'd even get a little note. It's like South Philly doo-wop or something. It's like, and it's just tons of this stuff, and so it was kind of like, okay, this is just not my thing. Like it's like, it was just so surprising. You go and you look at these things, and it's just like, I have no idea what I'm looking at here. And this is like music I would probably like.
Right.
It's like, but you got a lot of those super obscure stuff.
Yep.
But I did find, and so I went to the other bin and I'm flipping through stuff, and it's just like, yeah, got it. Yeah. Oh, wow. You're asking that for this, blah, blah, blah. Then it's like, I don't know this Ventures record from 1968. Okay. I'll slap $10 down for that. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of, I was surprised that there was less t-shirt kind of stuff, that kind of merch, comic book guys, or weird, like Kiss figurines all over the place. There was none of that kind of, not a lot, I should say.
It was very limited,
but there wasn't a ton of it.
There was
even
somebody
Charles brought, like he had some amps that he had brought down and stuff, and I go, you didn't bring any musical gear down? You didn't bring any turntables? And he's like, and I know he's got stuff. Like, he's got a room full of stuff. He's got at least as much as me. But he's a little bit less. He's more indiscriminate than I. He'll pick up the blackface thing just because it's in good shape. And like, where I'm just like, nah, like, I'm still more of a collector.
Yeah, he's trying to move. He's flipping the stuff. Yeah.
I saw one of the things I saw that was worth a lot of money. There was a Kiss. So if you walked all the way to the back and then kind of turned left and then you were facing the front again, if you were facing that direction, somebody had a $100 Kiss record up there. And I was kind of surprised at that. I didn't go and see what the details were, why that would be worth $100.
There's they have all different Casablanca labels and what pressings are, and there's a lot of inserts in them. And sometimes they're just signed too. Sometimes you'll see they're signed.
Yeah, I didn't catch anything unusual about it other than I was like,
yeah, it's like you get those. You want to get those really early Kiss pressings where the records sound like real, like no one knew how to master them.
Before George Sterling got involved.
It was like, or that I mean, boy, those first couple Kiss records, the drums sound like the kick drums, like a pillow. Pretty horrible sounding records.
And then, I'm trying to think of what else was of note that was, and again, there, I just kind of like to go into like your dollar, what is in the dollar bin, and it's just like,
what's in the dollar bin?
I'm big.
Yeah.
That's where I spent all my time. There's a guy down the street. Shout outs to Benny and the record shop. And he is a 2 for $5 or 3 for $5 bin.
Yeah.
And I go like every couple of weeks I go through it, and I like almost always drop $25. Like, and I come back and it's just like, oh, I heard, like, for that you're like, oh, this is a Miracles record from 1976.
Yeah.
And it's like, and there's like one or two like killer disco tracks on it, and or like that's the type of thing you'd be like, this is that Joan Baez record that, when Bob was with her, let me pull this one out and see. And it's just like, okay, I'll bring that one back.
Yeah, I think that's the smart choice of like, it's like going against the grain of like, yeah, I'm not paying $18 for a Bob Dylan record that, I've had on CD and every other format, and I kind of know what it is. You're going to go take a chance on the dollar cha-cha record. I find those albums far more interesting.
I picked up a record one time. It was called La Playa Sextet, live at the El Macambo room, and it's just this awesome like sort of merengue. It's just like fantastic. I'm sure someone will write to us and say, "You idiot! It's not merengue with the La Playa Sextet."
Yeah, how to pronounce it. I did recall seeing a Gilberto Astrid. How do you?
Astrid Gilberto. Yeah.
I saw a record and I was like, oh, now that is something I would be worth purchasing.
Yeah, no, those are records. It's like, I don't understand the language. It's just like, but I just like the vibe of this.
Yeah,
record.
They're good to have on the background when you're.
But then you find but that's when you find out like then now you're the people that we make fun of. It's like that's like tourist version of that music. If you really care about, it's
right.
Like,
this is who you need to be listening to this. Yeah,
it was still depressing though to go. Like, I was just like, I just looked over and there's just like a huge jazz section, and I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna go to the A section here alphabetically, and I want an Art Blakey jazz messages record. I'll just go through that section, and you start going through it, and you're like, there is no, and then finally, like, guy comes over, and I'm like, Art Blakey? He's like, yeah. It's like under Jazz Messengers or Art Blakey? He's like, under Blakey. And I was just like, nope. And he says, damn, I even sold these. He's like, things are moving today, and I was just like, the jazz I go and I look for, it's like, nope, sold out. You're like, damn.
Wow,
damn.
They had a good day, man. People coming up.
I think it's pent up. That's why you're saying you think it's over. I don't think records are going to be over for a while because we haven't gotten through the 80s yet.
Yeah.
Ethan's been at this game for a while, though. Maybe he senses that we're peaking in the vinyl.
But I think if, like I said, I think I probably, with the exception of like the Beatles and the Stones, it's like you could probably get a Hollies record much cheaper than you could have, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or like an original Gene Vincent record from the 50s or whatever would be like, oh, that's original Blue Caps record, blah, blah, blah. And it's $35 or probably at the time it was $25, which felt like $35.
Yeah.
And now it's like, yeah, it's my $10 bin over there.
No, because that's what I like. Again, my point is that now that record that you mentioned is more like you have to have like the, you have to be like us where you have like this eclectic, taste of listening to everything possible. And it's like, yeah, that's more interesting to me than like, oh yeah, there's there's this record that it's been like, it's another Rolling Stones record or another
sure,
Cream
but
record.
At the same time, is like the records that everyone references all the time, like Marquee Moon by Television is probably always going to be an expensive record now, right? If you could get an original pressing of it, like people would think like that's become such a seminal like a Joy Division record will always be a lot of money, or at least for some time to come, let's just say. But you could also, now it's been remastered and repressed on virgin vinyl, so how expensive can an original copy be if you could get a pristine remastered for $25? Now an original, I just don't like people are that precious about them, which is good, I think.
But I think in terms of like, if there's this, I don't know if it's under 30 or under 25, this group of people that really spurred the nostalgia of vinyls, people that, like you said, that didn't grow up with it, that they grew up in the digital era, and it's like somebody somewhere started this thing, and it's like they all jumped on. It's like, well, the superior sound quality and the analog.
I know. I don't think a lot of I mean, not the people you saw today, but a lot of kids buy. It's like a big merch item that people buy and never play them.
And those for that market, I imagine, you go into Guitar Center, you go into Target, you go into these big box stores, and it's the same 10 to 20 records of like Dark Side of the Moon, Zeppelin, whatever, all the Zeppelin records, all the, major, Some Girls, the major, Stones records, and the same, it's the Doors. Boom, you got these right, and it's like the classic rock
in there for $25 for Some Girls.
I saw, I said,
But that's the thing. But you're skipping over what the other 70% of the records are, which is like
I am purposely skipping over that. Yeah, to say that like
Taylor Swift and
new artists, right? The artists of their generation.
Black, right,
are released. Yeah, the new stuff's being released. Your postal
Jack
service.
White, not Jack Black. Jack White is like his that and like Abbey Road or like every year his are like the biggest selling vinyl records. Black Keys sell a lot of vinyl.
Yep. Postal Service, those kind of bands that are maybe Arcade Fire, bands that are of more of a contemporary age.
I'm saying, but I'm even yes, you do see those, but you're like, but I'm saying you go into Target and it's like BTS vinyl.
Oh, and, right. I see what you're saying.
That they press and move, and those don't get played.
What about your Bruno Mars being pressed
Bruno
on
Mars? Yeah. It probably like it's actually went away. It's like hip hop 12 inches went away. Like people don't need to buy the records to mix anymore. They're not actually scratching them.
Does Beyonce's stuff come out on vinyl?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Like everything comes out on vinyl now. Like people push for it, but now it's gotten to a point where it's so hard to even get the vinyl press that people do cassettes too, right? The cassettes.
Like going to come back in the cassettes. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. No. And it's, but you're also it's not necessarily to listen to the music.
Yeah, just to buy the record.
Funny, I still have